So welcome to Richie's Robots, episode 3, and today we're going to talk about moisture sensors. For this project, moisture sensors is very important because we're going to have to use them to know when to water the plant. So if you look, what we discussed before, we've got the plant here, we've got the water coming into it, and we need to know when do we actually need to water it. So we're going to use some water sensors, and basically there are two types of water sensors. There are capacitive ones and resistant ones. If you look, this is a capacitive one, and the way this works is basically it is like a capacitor, and just very basically a capacitor is kind of like a battery. There's two electrodes, and there's a part inside of it that creates some kind of resistance that stops the energy kind of going between each one of them really quickly. And what this does is basically it uses soil in the middle of it to create that resistance. And how does it know the moisture? By the amount of ions that is in the water that is in the soil. So the more ions that are in the soil, the more water there is. And to measure that, it uses a chip called a 555 timer chip. And it's a very old industry standard chip, but basically it oscillates a square wave consistently to measure what is the capacity, the charge capacity of this sensor. And for instance, to make it very easy, it says, okay, the capacity is currently 2 volts. I put it into the soil and it goes down to 1.5 volts. What that means is there is a lot of resistance. The moisture is not very high in the soil. And so to look at it, if I connect this up, I put some power into this chip, it will say 0% moisture. So because it has no resistance between it, it can just flow 100%, of course, because there's nothing in between it. It's just an open circuit. I put in water, it detects the ions, and it goes up to 100%. So basically that's how it works. It creates it like this kind of field with a timer on a 555 chip, keeps going around and just measures the changes in the capacity of this circuit. The second one we have is a resistance sensor. And this basically has 2 copper plates and it measures the current between each of them. And it's going to know that the more resistance, the less moisture is in the water, because moisture has the ions, and the ions allows the moisture to go between it. The only problem I see with this is these are exposed copper. So I'm not really confident that this is going to work in the long term, because this exposed copper is going to get this electrolyte in the water and it's going to start corroding. So what I did was, I have this project here, and if you look, this has been going on only for an hour. And if you look, it's very kind of hard to see, but you can see there is a lot of corrosion there. If you look there, there is corrosion already after an hour. And I'm not an expert, but I don't think you want that in your soil, this kind of copper corrosion. So if you look at it, just putting it in already started to corrode after an hour. The benefit of this other one is, where did I put it here? Is it doesn't have any exposed elements. It's creating this kind of field through the 555 chip, and it's going to measure the moisture on that. The only problem I see is here is exposed PCB board. And I'm a little concerned after a while the water is going to seep into that. So what I've done is I'm going to get this rubber seal here and I'm going to paint it. Let me just grab the chip. I'm going to paint it along the edges here, just in case, to cover it up so that no water can seal. So that I think will be the best sensor. But this, you know, I'm not sure if this copper really becomes a problem. Exposed copper to soil, we're going to have to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a plant. So you brought your plant here, and we're going to put these two sensors in. You've seen what they both do. And, you know, this is the, yeah, it gives some corrosion, but I don't think it's a bad...
No way you're going to put that in my plant, man.
Yeah, I told you, yeah, but I told you we need to test both.
No, come on, man.
I told you. Okay, well, hang on, cut. So basically we've decided as a team, we're just going to use this one. And I'm going to put this, and we're going to put this one in Plantzilla. And this is the one we're going to use. The Capacitive Sol Moisture Sensor version 1.2. I think this is the best one to use, and we're all in agreement. So thanks for watching, and hope to catch you next time.